Alan, for helping us out. We appreciate all your work. The previous guy that was up here, you might recall, is now in a bigger chair. So we can get after Matt in other ways. But Alan, we really appreciate you. You're a pro and did an excellent job, so we appreciate that very much. Welcome to 2014 Big South Conference Media Day. We really appreciate you being here. Appreciate you supporting us. Appreciate you being a part of Big South Conference football. We do have some new people in the room today that have not been a part of Big South football in the past. I want to welcome them officially. From Monmouth University, playing in our league this year, Vice President Athletics Director Marilyn McNeil. Head Coach Kevin Callahan. Welcome. We're excited about the Hawks being with us. From Kennesaw State, we have Athletics Director Vaughn Williams. Coach Brian Mohan. Welcome to the Owls. We're excited about them joining our league officially as a competing member next year. Obviously, they're excited to get their football program up and running. We're once again very pleased to have terrific corporate partners with us. Some of you met them yesterday or met them in the past. They're always do such a great job for us. We certainly could not be as successful as we are in providing opportunities for our student athletes without their support. So I'd like to introduce them now. From Musco Sports Lighting, Dina Neely. Dina. With Condor Flag, Ernie Creech. Tim Gilland. And Jeremy Barnes. Divide and conquer today, huh, gentlemen? Yes. Absolutely. And from AstroTurf, Jay Kreider. Anthony Mealy. Once again, thank you all for all you do for us. We really appreciate that. Well, after our most successful season ever, we're excited to kick off 2014. But before I spend some time on football, I did want to talk about what everybody else is talking about, the current climate in college athletics and the attacks on the sometimes difficult to define collegiate model. What is the collegiate model? Why do we care about it so much? And isn't it another way to talk about amateurism? It seems that everybody's running away from the amateurism lingo these days like it's a contagious disease. But I would define the collegiate model by stating what it is not. It is not professional sports. It is not an employee-employer relationship between players and institutions of higher learning. That is the professional model. There is and always has been a line of demarcation between college sports and professional sports, and that's the way it should be. Collegiate student athletes do have responsibilities off the field, namely in the classroom. They're required to keep their grades up and make progress towards graduation. Hopefully they will attain a degree which will help them so much in future life success. By the way, student athletes graduate at a higher rate than the student body in general. And in the Big South Conference, our football graduation rate is 71%, and overall it's 80%. Those are numbers we can all be very proud of. In spite of what the critics will have you believe, a great majority of student athletes achieve and succeed academically. Are there exceptions to this? Of course. College athletics does not live in a bubble. We are a part of society. There will always be those that cut corners, but that is the exception, not the rule. But the collegiate model is about more than going to class. It is about providing an environment to allow individuals at a critical time in their lives to receive mentoring, guidance, and experiences that will help them mature into responsible citizens and future leaders. It is this less measurable area that is often overlooked and downplayed, yet it is so important. The college campus provides the incubator from which well-rounded leaders emerge, and this cannot be ignored. The attorneys and teamsters, and yes, many in the media, don't really care much about that. They see the dollar signs flowing from major media contracts to the NCAA and to major conferences. They see an opportunity to share some of that revenue using the welfare of the student athlete as their platform. That is sad and extremely unfortunate. And I'm very concerned that if they are successful, so much that we know and love about the collegiate model model in collegiate athletics will be a thing of the past. If we move to a professional model, and regardless of what anyone says, whether it's unionization or payment of players, that will be a professional model. We will lose that special connection that student athletes have to their universities, and subsequently, fan loyalty as well. Obviously, your fans do follow and support your student athletes. They enjoy watching them develop and compete. But their real loyalty is to the alma mater. We cannot forget that. If we damage that loyalty, if we lose that connection, then all is lost. That would be the result of a professional model. But a collegiate model does not have to be static. It can be dynamic. It can live and breathe. It can change with the times. Like amateurism, it does not have to be stuck in the past, like we did 100 years ago. I am not at all opposed to finding ways to enhance benefits to our student athletes, to provide them more if possible, and serve them better. Times change and we should be open to new ideas. I've always felt that allowing more opportunities for student athletes to benefit from their name and likeness should be considered, as long as it is reasonable, controllable, and yes, within the collegiate model. Much has been made about the Big Five conferences wanting to do more to benefit the student athlete. It's almost as if the rest of us are just observers. But let me explain what the Big South currently does. I would suggest that the Big South Conference is just as focused, just as concerned, if not more so, in our student athletes' success on and off the field as anyone else, including the Big Five. Even though our budgets are a fraction of those in the larger conferences, Big South institutions provide over $50 million in scholarships to student athletes, many of whom would be unable to attend college if they didn't have that financial assistance. Another $1.5 million goes to direct benefits to student athletes and their families, helping them with their financial needs. Over $2 million goes to assist student athletes in supporting them academically. And this is not to mention the number of coaches that lead and mentor these student athletes on a daily basis, the athletics trainers and doctors that look out for their safety, other support personnel that ensure that they are well equipped and receive appropriate recognition. Nor does it include travel, event costs, nor insurance or medical expenses. Big South institutions are invested in the well-being of our student athletes. We are a student-athlete-centered conference, and that's how it should be. There are many threats to collegiate athletics right now. We must stand up against those threats and fight to protect the collegiate model. Well, speaking of our student athletes, let's talk a little bit about football. What a great year we had last year. 16-9 versus FCS institutions, best ever. Multiple teams nationally ranked. Record individual performances. Coastal Carolina defeating Montana in the playoffs in Missoula in sub-zero temperatures and achieving the quarterfinals. What a great year. Well, patience seems to be less and less a virtue these days. But those of you that have followed the Big South for a while know that that is what I've been preaching. We have been building toward the kind of season that we had last year. And I am so proud of the efforts of our student athletes and our coaches and how far they have come, and I congratulate all of you for that. But that was last year. The key is to sustain the excellence we attained, and with the talent that we have returning, the talent of those gentlemen you see sitting at these tables today, I see no reason why we can't build on last year's success and reach new heights in the Big South Conference. On the conference front, we're very excited again to partner with ESPN on a great television schedule for football, and are thrilled with our new television partner, American Sports Network. We will have more games televised in the Big South Conference this year in football than ever before. As always, those games not on ESPN or the American Sports Network can be found on the Big South Network. We're very excited about the progress we've made, and you know that the Big South Network has been on the air for a long, long time. In addition to note at this point that because it has been so successful, that we see many other conferences copy what we put in place so long ago. Well, thank you all again for your attendance, your support, your involvement in Big South Conference football, and best of luck to all of you this season. Thank you.